babes, welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Halle J here for those of you who are new, and if you haven't already, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Okay, we are bringing you fresh content every week. I'm working on doing twice a week, but y'all just bear with me. Today we are doing a simple soft glam. If y'all been tuned into this channel for a while, y'all know I'm the queen of mixing some products, okay? But I believe I mixed Caracas. This is definitely Nars Natural Radiant Longwear is my fave. I'm thinking about switching to Huda Beauty. Y'all know what I'm talking about. With my foundations because they have a larger shade range. But I mixed Caracas, Glam, and Marquises together to get this shade. And I'm just taking a small flat brush and applying that all over her face. And I always start with lining the top of the brow so it'll be easy to fill in later. But now we are pressing in that foundation with one of my Real Techniques Instapop face brushes. Just taking my time. It's sped up, y'all, but just taking my time, making sure it's blended into the skin properly. And I always start on one side and then work my way to the other. For concealer, I use the Born This Way concealer in Maple. I applied that on all the center parts of her face, under her eyes, the bridge of her nose, her forehead, the top of her lip, and her chin. And while I let that dry, because it is always best to allow your concealer to dry before blending it out, it will help you get that full coverage and it'll be easier to blend when you go in. So while I'm letting that dry down, I am doing the brows. I am using the Morphe brow pencil in Java. It's one of my favorites. I feel like Cold Brew is just a little too ashy, but Java is like the perfect dark brown and still has a little warmth. So I just like to do hair-like strokes to just fill in the brows to give it a more natural look. And I just follow literally the hairs of her brows. And I make sure I make a strong defined line underneath her brows just so I know how the brow is going to be shaped at the bottom and how I'm going to do the arch. So I just do that, very light strokes, y'all, because you can always just build up. But if you do tend to make the brows a little bit darker than you would like, you can always take a spoolie and just go ahead and fade it out. And earlier when we did line the top of that brow with that foundation, we're just gonna go along that line with that pencil and just shape that brow to give it a more precise look. And just keep filling in to y'all liking. It's really up to you how you like your brows. But I like to give a nice, soft, natural, defined brow. So now that the brows are done, I am sorry for being in the camera, y'all. Like, this was not the best angle, and I was just trying to make sure I did her face real good. But I'm taking that same foundation brush. I'm blending out that chin since it's such a small area, and I'm gonna go in and blend out the edges of her foundation to go ahead and mesh it with the edges of her concealer, to go ahead and mesh it with that foundation to get that seamless blend. I'm gonna do that on both sides. And I use just light tapping motions. I don't swipe, I just tap, 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 and get as much as that covered as possible. Before I go into blend out that under eye, I saw that it was still a little wet. I'm gonna go ahead and take that same concealer and go ahead and conceal her brows. I'm taking that same foundation brush I just wiped off the excess, and I'm going in and allowing the brush to guide me. Since it's already kind of square, I just lay the brush flat and follow her brow all the way to the end. I like to do one motion because that way you won't really mess up, and I'm just trying to get it as close as possible. You always want to have that arch right there on top of that brow bone, because the face will tell you how the brow should be shaped. So just follow the face as a guideline. But I'm also taking this it came in my MUA Life brush set from Morphe. Well, no, it didn't. I have to let y'all know what brush this is, because I actually picked this out separate, but it's a great blending brush, dense brush. So I'll link that down below. Everything will be linked down below. If you didn't know, sorry if I didn't tell y'all that, but everything will be linked down below. Brushes, products, all of that, and my social media. Y'all should go ahead and follow me because I'm dropping content on all other socials as well, but that's besides the fact. I went ahead and took a beauty blender, a beauty sponge. It's not the brand beauty blender, but a beauty sponge, and blended out her under eye. Light pressing motions, just getting that product in, making sure it's all blended seamlessly. And after that, I go in with the Real Techniques Miracle Powder Sponge. It's specifically for powder. And I just go ahead and press that powder all the way into her skin. I'm not one that likes to bake. I feel like it is very unnecessary. So I just go ahead and press that powder into all of the areas that I have applied concealer. Under her eyes, on top of her lip, her chin, her forehead, and the bridge of her nose. For contour, we are using the True Complexion palette from Black Radiance. I probably mix that Scope shade and the contour shade just to give her a bronze look. I take that in the hollows of her cheek, a little bit on her forehead, and then we're gonna go on the sides of her nose as well. And always start light and build up, y'all. You can always build up. It makes it a little harder when you try to tone it down. So always go in with a little light product and build up to your liking. And we're doing the same on the bridge of her nose. Since we didn't really set the size of her nose, it is still wet. So I like to just press some powder in to set it before I go in with my swiping motions to blend. And I always blend up into the eyebrow. It gives the nose snatchery, a more natural look, besides it being so harsh, and then it just be cut off right there where her nose stops. So we give that illusion of it going up into her eyebrow so that it looks like that's her real nose, okay? So now we are doing blush, one of my favorite parts. It is time to sculpt this contour. I just felt like the cheek was getting lost in the sauce, so I'm taking that Miracle Powder Sponge again and shaping that contour, shaping that cheekbone, and really just sharpening up that contour. And I'm gonna let that sit for a little bit while I do her eyeshadow. Eyeshadow is always, for my soft glams, eyeshadows are very much effortless. We're not doing too much, okay? I like to use browns and nude shades. I want to have that pop, like, oh yeah, that's a little cute eyeshadow, but not too much, okay? Very much so effortless. So I'm taking that same Warrior 2 palette I used for the blush and using those two brown shades at the top, and I'm pressing that eyeshadow in to go ahead and set that concealer that is there to give me a dry base to go in and just blend. So y'all, as y'all see, I'm patting, and then once I feel like the area is set, I'm doing circular motions to just go ahead and blend that in. I like to do windshield wiper motions to just deepen it up in the crease, and then to blend it in with the eyebrow, get close to the eyebrow. I do circular motions outward, so it's just not a harsh line. You always want it to be blended, okay? And also, for her lid, y'all, I took that gray and that white and I mixed them together in that same palette, y'all, okay? We not going crazy with the palettes. We're using one good palette and we coming up with a face, okay? So I took those two shades and I literally, since the brush is already round, I just literally pressed that in all the way around her, the center of her lid. And literally that's how I got this eyeshadow look. It is so simple and so easy. Now I am pushing that powder, that translucent powder in and swiping it away. And after that, I am taking some pressed powder, the Black Radiance pressed powder in Cafe, and just going over those areas. So it's not so light there and it blends in with that foundation shade. The pressed powder is always going to be the foundation shade so the face looks seamless. And I take that under the eyes as well, dust it under the eyes, so I don't have that flashback effect or anything from the powder. Everything is kind of like toned down, but still have that highlighted look. So now we're going in with a lip color. We are using Trendsetter from Morphe to line her lips today. Morphe's lip pencils are the best, okay? I wish they had a deeper brown because it's a very red brown, and I like a red tint, but I also want it to be kind of dark. But this is really cute and very creamy, extremely creamy, and I love that for a lip liner. And that's why I've been using the LA Girl eyeliner pencils. If you don't got them, get them. I use the shades brown and dark brown, okay, because they're super creamy. But the Morphe pencils, I just bought them because y'all know, if y'all didn't know, Morphe was having a sale not too long ago, 50% off everything, and your girl just went and racked up. I applied the Infallible Pro Matte Liquid Lipstick in Sweet Tooth in the middle of her lips. And I like just how I do my concealer. I like it to sit a little bit to give me that fuller coverage before I have her blot her lips in, so her lips won't be so wet. And I'm going in and lining her lips while I'm letting that dry, y'all. I am always multitasking on the face, okay? That's how we get the girls in and out and still have them beat. Always, if you're waiting for something to dry down or if you're waiting for something, move on to another area of the face. So, you know, everything will move seamlessly. So, I'm using the Inglot gel liner on the top of her lid and her waterline. So, I just like to make, you know, just a line. I don't typically do wings unless it's asked for. I just like to line that the top of her eye and do her waterline to just shape those eyes up. And for gloss, I use the Ulta Jelly Gloss in Starfish. We sprayed this face with a little Urban Decay and that Ben Nye Final Seal. If you don't gotta get it, okay? That Final Seal is gonna have that makeup seal, like it says in the title. I got that from Amazon, I believe. Yep. And this is the final look, y'all. Super cute, super effortless, and it's really just like an everyday glam look to me. I guess it's really because I'm a makeup artist, but it's something that is so like achievable for everybody. It's not too much, especially like the eyeshadow, because I feel like a lot of people struggle with doing eyeshadow, but it's really nothing to it. It's a little technique and that's it. But it don't even gotta be too much. You don't have to cut no crease. You don't gotta do no shimmer shadow. You can use some matte shadows, blend in that crease, pack on that lid, put some liner on, and call it a day. Okay. But if y'all enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe to your girl's channel. I am posting tutorials Mondays and Thursdays. If y'all have anything that y'all want to learn or know from your girl, leave that down in the comments and I'll get that to y'all. I'll get that content to y'all, okay? Thank y'all for tuning in to another video. If you haven't watched these videos on the screen, y'all can go ahead and click on them now. Go ahead and catch up just in case you missed anything. And we'll see y'all in the next video. Love you, babes. Bye.